Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot and welcome to the patch update for Jurassic World Evolution. This is something we're going to do every time a new patch is released for the game, as is the case with today's video, and also just anytime we figure out more information about a forthcoming patch. I get a lot of comments around this time when a new patch does come out, even a minor one like this one, where people are curious as to what has happened to their game, particularly console players who maybe aren't looking on the forums and the Reddits as much. People see that their game has been patched by 1 or 2 gig, and yet they don't see any noticeable changes, and they're always wondering what exactly is in that patch. So hopefully these videos are going to address that problem. Because this is a tiny patch, there's not much to say about it. I'll talk about that in 2 secs, but I've got some other stuff I want to cover about the future of Jurassic World Evolution, some slight updates we've had this week, and something very cool that I'm going to do a video on in a couple of days, but I will mention in a moment. So lots of general updates and news as well. And while this is going on, we're going to take a little tour around my Isla Nublar Botanical Gardens, possibly my favourite park I've ever made. It's just beautiful. Anyways, so patch 1.4.5 is the new patch. It got released about 3 hours ago, according to Reddit. And I'll just quote P. Crowfer, I should say, who, I don't know the full name off the top of my head, I apologise, seems to have kind of taken over the community duties for Jurassic World Evolution from Bo. Bo hasn't been posting that much, whereas Crowfer, who wasn't posting that much originally, has kind of taken over and is doing that now instead. That said, there hasn't been many posts about the future of the game recently, so we'll get to that in a moment. Greetings, park owners! Exclamation point. We have a new update going out today to fix a few of the issues which have been raised by the community recently. We'll be continuing to review reports and provide updates going forward to resolve any issues we can. Here's what's included in today's update. Fix soft lock when switching island and player save fails to save, which is a problem I know a few of you commented in the comment section of my videos, and various crash fixes. And that is literally it. It's not a big deal for 99% of us, but I have had comments from several people on here, on Twitter, on Steam, blah 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 blah, people saying that they literally can't play the game anymore because they're getting crash issues. There was actually a post on the Reddit just a couple of days ago from someone who... just a couple of days ago from someone who said that they needed a save file from someone else because their save file had been sort of completely soft locked. So hopefully, finally, between this patch and patch 1.4.4, which addressed basically the exact same issues, those problems no longer exist. I did say it wasn't a big patch. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. There's no new content. There's no changes to the game. It's a bug fix patch and nothing more. But later in the Reddit thread, PC Crowfer, I could call him PC Crowfer, P. Crowfer, did go on to say something completely not informational, but hey, this is what they have to do at the moment. We're working on new content and improvements, but we're not ready to share the details right now. We appreciate everyone is eager to learn more, but we're not quite ready to announce our plans just yet as they're still subject to change. We'll share the details when they're ready. Now, we knew already they were working on Jurassic World Evolution. There was actually a post the other day by, I believe, Universal, when they were doing their sort of profit announcements and stuff like that, and sort of doing their forecast for 2018-2019, the financial year, saying that they're going to continue to support Jurassic World Live and Jurassic World Evolution in that forthcoming year. I strongly suspect that Jurassic World Evolution will get about 3 years worth of updates. I think it'll be updated until 2021 when Jurassic World 3 comes out, and then I think we will get a sequel or a similar game in some respect to Jurassic World Evolution. I don't know that for sure, that's just speculation on my part. That would give the game about a 3-year lifespan, which is pretty typical for a game, if not a little bit short, you would suggest. And it makes sense to support it till then, and also to build up hype in the game, particularly as the third film comes towards release. It's hard to take issue with what's being said here. Frontier do this quite a lot. With Elite Dangerous, they did have a very specific sort of plan that was kind of set out, but with Planet Coaster, they held back a little bit more, and with Jurassic World Evolution, they're holding back even more than they did in Planet Coaster. It seems that with each game, they've kind of held back information more and more. Although I may have forgotten which order those 2 other games came out. So they're not going to get, I don't think we're ever going to get I'm completely blanking on the word, a roadmap, that's what I'm looking for. I don't think we're ever going to get a roadmap for Jurassic World Evolution. I think we'll only find out about the next patch coming out, which, it's really hard to balance this feeling, because on one hand that makes total sense, because it's hard as a game developer to commit to something and give a specific date and a specific plan if A, you're not sure what the plan is 6 months to a year down the line, which is understandable, but also because delays happen, and if you give a specific date, people tend to get much angrier than if you said, if it's going to come out Q4 2018, right, rather than December 5th. By December 6th, suddenly people are annoyed. If you say Q4 2018, it's less specific. On my part, I suspect we will see DLC before Christmas. I think a 3-month or so turnaround time on actual content is pretty necessary. I think if it goes on too much longer than that, the game is really in trouble of being left behind. I don't think the updates are quick enough as it stands. I think they could do with a dinosaur pack on a monthly basis. I don't think it would be that difficult to do, and I think it would maintain excitement in the game much more than what they're doing right now. But hey, I'm not a game developer. I don't profess to know really what I'm talking about in the slides. That's just my opinion. I think they could be doing more, but we'll have to see. It depends what else they're working on. It depends how substantial those content packs are going to be. When I look at DLC though, what I like is the same kind of thing that the Total Warhammer series is doing right now. Wherein they've got these bigger packs, these big expansions that bring in a new race, new maps, new campaign gameplay, and blah blah blah. But then in between them, there's these little Lord packs that bring in new Lords, or there's new unit packs, or there's new map packs, and it's just smaller packs to kind of punctuate the long gaps between those bigger packs. Dinosaur packs or decoration packs are absolutely perfect for that kind of thing. So I hope that come the new year, Frontier do maybe tighten things up a little bit and maybe push out a little bit more content, because the game does need a little bit more attention. It's getting left behind, which is a shame. Did I have anything else to say? Yes, so that's it for the patch. If I hear anything else about an upcoming patch, we'll do another patch update, and then of course I'll give you the full patch notes when the patch actually lands. It's hard to do that for this because the patch updated and it took about 2 seconds to read the patch notes, but let's have a look at us. Little garden down there. What's over here? That's my Hell Creek exhibit. Where are we? Here's my Spinosaurus baryonyx and Spinosaurus. What's the other one? Suchomimus in our little ringed circular tentacle pool over there. We'll keep an eye on that as we move past. The other thing I wanted to talk about, however, we're going to do a specific video on this in a couple of days' time, but this will be really interesting to hopefully all of you. People have managed in 2 different ways, sort of, to mod Jurassic World Evolution. Now, I've gone back and forth about doing a video on this because I know Frontier are against modding, so I don't know if it's necessarily something I want to bring to public attention. But hey, it's out there in the world, it's out there on the forums, it's out there on Reddit. And it's definitely nothing serious, and it's also very convoluted and difficult. So 2 things have happened that at least push us in the right direction. One of them's not really modding, but basically people have got access to Jurassic World Evolution's dinosaur models. I'll include a few, we'll talk more about this in a couple of days, but they've got access to the models, and although we can't bring in our own models or anything like that, people have managed to take the Jurassic World Evolution models and put them into other games. Somebody, I believe Toho Society, who does some amazing mods for JPOG, has put the Jurassic World Evolution dinosaurs in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, which is awesome, the actual models from the game. As soon as that comes out as a proper mod, we will of course showcase it here on the channel. But, so whilst that's a step forward, that's not actually modding. But what somebody managed to do, and I've got no idea how, it's all convoluted modding stuff I won't pretend to understand, and like I say, we will try to go in more detail in a couple of days. They've managed to put in a unique dig site into the game with their own name and stuff like that. So that is actually, the game has been modded. It's a very basic thing, it was very difficult to do by the looks of it, but that is actual modding of Jurassic World Evolution. Companies can say what they want, they may never want modding, but people make it happen. People are tenacious as balls. People are still modding games from 15, 18, 20 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever, still today. People don't really give up on this kind of thing. People force it, and I'd be surprised if we don't see more and more and more down the line. I really hope we do, and I really hope Frontier reconsider their current approach to modding as well, because I think their stance is a little silly, and I think in terms of the longevity of the game, and particularly if updates are going to be as sparse as they currently are, modding would be a great way to keep interest in your game. In my opinion, it's daft to release a game in 2018, any game like this, or loads of people still do it, that doesn't support modding. Look at the Elder Scrolls series, right? It exists now and is popular because of modding. Don't get me wrong, the original games have a whole load of merit and stuff to them. Great games in their own right, if you're into them. But the modding community keeps them. Skyrim is modded so much. There's so many mods. The Fallout games are modded so much because the modding community, when it comes to games, tends to be the most passionate one. It's the one that keeps your game alive, and I hope they reconsider. I really do. But that's really exciting. We'll talk more about that in a couple of days. I just kind of needed to talk talk a little bit, which is generally what these videos are all about. So the patch isn't that exciting, but hopefully the next time I do this patch update video, I'll have much more interesting patch news to give you guys. I suspect we will hear something in November in order for a December release. I would be very shocked if we don't get any new content before the end of the year. At the end of the day, December, the game will go on sale, I'd imagine at least, say 10-20% off. They're going to want to generate hype. Christmas sales are really good for sales of a game. And what's the best way to build up hype a little bit more? Release some new content. So, fingers crossed, I will let you know if I hear anything. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit that little like button, you know you want to. I'm going to just be like a typical YouTube bro, gamer bro, smash that like button, homies. Oh god, that felt dirty. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye. Quick little shout out at the end. This video and others like it would not be possible at all without the support of you guys watching me at home, and also everyone on this Patreon page right here who supported me in the last month. If you want to help out as well, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Every little really helps. Cheers.